Abby and I just got back from a Royal Caribbean cruise on the Utopia of the Seas, and here is our third day recap. It's the end of the cruise. We gotta pack up. We're gonna go hit the thermal spa. Tonight's dinner, if you take a cruise, I would definitely look at the formal dining themes. I guess I just never looked this time, but apparently Friday was red, and then yesterday was wear white, and today was toga, which was a surprise. We saw several people out in costumes, but they were handing out sheets. If you wanted to participate in the toga and you didn't bring your own sheet, they had some for you. And then there is an 18 and older toga party tonight at 10:45. Yeah, no, we're not gonna be in that at all. This is my scarf that I tied up to kind of have an arm coverage here. But what did we learn today? Oh, I learned something fascinating. I went down the stairs to take pictures of some of the artwork that I saw, and I just realized, and I don't think I've ever realized this on another cruise, all of the artwork on the port side is red, and all of the artwork on the starboard side is green.
That is kind of... Holy crap, you're right.
Everything
on that side was red, and everything was that side, which is port and starboard.
Right,
yeah.
I just noticed that. Something else that I noticed, and I'm pretty sure this was intentional, the women's restrooms were on the starboard side. So if you are not familiar with nautical terms, I grew up on a lake, so we learned this. All of your short words go together. Your navigation lights for your boats in the front, red is on the left side, green is on the right side, so you know when you're looking at a boat what side you're on, especially like if it's at night, that's when you use the nav lights, obviously. Red port left, and men's restroom, apparently. And green starboard right women's. So I always had to remember, okay, which way am I facing? I'm facing forward or aft. And then the women's restroom was always on the starboard side. But I just found out the artwork. Because there was some paper artwork. It was really pretty, and I have some earrings that my former boss had brought me back from India. They were gorgeous. And I said, oh, I have some earrings like this. They were on 9.5, and I went to go take a picture because I wanted to get a picture. And I was like, wait, this is red. And the other side was green. And I'm like, that's curious. So I went to another floor, and sure enough, theme all the way up. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. The little details. We really enjoyed eating at the Windjammer all week. We never once went to the formal dining. Formal dining has great food, but we had that same menu last year. I think it's because we're doing the same tour. Even though it's a different ship, it's the same tour. The menu didn't change. So I was kind of happy about that, though, because I like kind of grazing around the Windjammer and the Solarium all weekend. That was fun.
Either.
Yeah, you don't really overeat, and I don't like to waste food.
They give you huge portions during the sit down.
Yeah.
It's like, man.
Most of the items that were on the main menu you found in the Windjammer at night. So, the Solarium though, I got to go back sometime tonight because I want to get the baklava. So I don't know if there's any other words of wisdom besides, don't do like I did and forget your sunscreen and your rash guard. I did get a little sun, but I was able to get into the shade the most part, and I put a towel over my shoulder. Oh, in a bag. I used this, actually. I tied it up and kind of made it a hobo bag because I didn't bring a bag for, my flip-flops. Tomorrow we'll be back in Orlando, and then we'll head back home to real life, and we'll just have to make the kids eat peanut butter and jelly so we can...
69 degrees.
Yeah, that's right. With a high of 68 degrees. It was warmer than I expected it to be, and I didn't really bring any shorts, but I think it was fine. I mostly wore my swimsuit around. Yesterday we were between the thermal spa and the solarium. I love the solarium area, which is the 18 and older, adults only. It's kind of in an atrium. The wind is blocked. The sun is blocked. I mean, you get some filtered light, but it's not beating down on you. Yeah, we pretty much hung out there the whole time. We did
comfy chairs.
We walked the boardwalk a couple of times. We walked and sat in the Central Park a couple of times. The Promenade, I mean, there's things down there you have to go see.
Yeah, it's mostly shops. And
yeah.
Well, I mean, I like the coffee shop down there.
Promenade, they do have like up on the 6th deck overlooking the Promenade. they've got a bandstand, so they've had, she's kind of jazzy.
Yeah, today's jazzy. Yesterday was more pop. It was like 80s soft rock kind of thing, 80s, 90s soft rock. And then, of course, you would get the string ensemble on Central Park.
Central Park, yeah. I do like the live music.
And Central Park, that will vary.
Mostly
jazz.
Acoustic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they'll have mics up so that they can, get a couple of speakers or something that they broadcast. But, I mean, that's...
Yeah.
Like, I think the last time we went on one, it was that we had, it was kind of lounge music one night, then another time it was more swing.
One surprising musician that we stumbled upon was on the boardwalk. It was a pianist, but the piano, he was all steampunk. So the piano was all steampunk with belt buckles. It looked like one of those old traveling cases with the metal buckles on it. And then he had...
Like a steamer chest.
Yeah, like a steamer chest. And then he had metal pipes on the front, like the music holder, and he was wearing a steampunk hat. That's what caught my attention at first. I saw a steampunk hat. I was like, hey, I have a hat just like that. And then Will's like, didn't you see the front? I'm like, no, I didn't. Didn't pay attention to the piano, but I went back and got a picture of it. So, and we did ride the carousel. We did not make it down the Abyss. It was a long line for the Abyss.
I did archery.
Yeah, you did the blow-up archery, and I watched some of the Flow Rider, and the Abyss have a long line. So there's always a lot of activities.
Putt-putt golf.
Yeah, we did. We played putt-putt golf. Did not keep score. And we're back, and we learned something else. We went upstairs to the Solarium to get baklava, and we found out that the Solarium is a reserved dining for the dinner hour. So it's been casual breakfast and lunch, and we've eaten there the whole cruise. You want to sit down?
Yeah.
I just happened to look at the menu tonight. It was posted outside, and I was like, ooh, they have baklava. So I wanted to go up and get some of their baklava. And we go in there, and the guy's like, what's your room number? And I'm like,
Like, we being charged this? No, it's complimentary. I'm like,
okay. You just have to make a reservation. Now, looking back at our app, which would have been nice if we'd have done that at the beginning of the cruise, they have the same menu in there for dinner all 3 nights. You just have to make a reservation.
Which is Will's menu, by the way. I would eat there every single night. Lamb, snapper, salmon, prime rib. I would eat there every night.
Yeah, it was fabulous. It was beautiful. I really loved eating at the Solarium for breakfast and lunch.
Mm-hmm. I did like the breakfast options there because they're more fresh options. The same things you find in the Jammer, but a lot less people go through the Solarium because, like, the couple on the elevator, like, we just discovered this about the reservations, and like, what?
Yeah.
They wait a minute, you can eat the Solarium? I'm like, yeah, there's a dining thing right there in the Solarium. It's like,
yeah, they had no idea.
There's not many people that go through because it's open during the day, breakfast and lunch, and it's open to the outside, so you can eat in the Solarium area, the lounge area by the hot tubs and all that, but dinner it's closed off.
Well, and there was one night this week I said, let's go and check out the Solarium for dinner, and you're like, no, let's go to the Jammer. So had we gone upstairs...
I think you probably knew about this, and you would tell that, because you would have elevated my whole experience on this cruise if I had known about that.
Now we have to go
because
back.
It's not like it was kind of like a mini version of the formal or the main dining. Yeah. So you have a waiter who gives you your drinks and stuff like that because you can go get your own food. It's like a hybrid between buffet and main dining. Where main dining they serve you everything and the portions are ginormous,
right?
But it's packed. I mean, there's so many people that are in there. This is a little bit more intimate. You go get your own food, smaller portions. So you can try multiple different things.
And it's all plated.
And it's plated.
Yeah.
And it's the presentation's really nice.
It's beautiful.
But you also have a waiter. Not like the buffet where they just come and pick up your stuff. And we find this out after we've eaten dinner on the last day. Because they're smart. Just like we figured out, but they're everything on the port side's red and everything on the starboard side green.
We're a little slow on the uptake.
I'm like, they're brilliant. And I'm like, we're stupid. We haven't figured it out until we're on like our 8th cruise. And like, wait a minute. Did they do that on any other ships?
I don't know. We have to go back and check. We have to go back to every ship we've ever been on.
I will say with the Cafe Promenade. Well, I like the coffee and that. We were discussing this downstairs. That was years ago, but the Cafe Promenade was a little bit larger. Had the coffees, but you didn't have coffee cards back then. You had to pay the premium rates to get, I think you get coffee anywhere else. But they had, the food was better. You had, well, I wouldn't say better. There was a selection. For certain, every day there was like 2 or 3 paninis that you can grab. Mm-hmm. You had a chicken salad wrap, a tuna salad wrap. There was a vegetarian wrap. Yeah. But there was always something to grab there to eat. And then there was the little pizza place around the corner, Sorrento's, to get pizza.
Right.
Whereas this place, the Sorrento's, is large and it's always busy because
though I feel like with this new class of ship where they scooped out the center, spread it apart, opened it up, and they added more dining areas. So I think all that fresh stuff is what became the Solarium.
Yeah, I could see that. But I like it, the Windjammer, when you walk in right by the bread area, all the little like hors d'oeuvre kind of little things, like what the
charcuterie, like a charcuterie.
What was the things that we've been eating?
The peppadew peppers.
Oh, oh my god.
Peppadew peppers.
And she had to run to get some right off the bat because they put shrimp next to it, and I'm thinking and she's like, I'm getting for something cross contaminates it, and I'm like, why would you put shellfish? Right
it was, I don't know if it was like a shrimp salad or something, but they have all these little tongs sitting out, but you don't know if somebody's going to grab, the shrimp with the tongs. So when they opened that side up, I was like, no, I'm grabbing a plate. I'm grabbing these now.
When I went to get those peppers with the cheese, I went to grab the tongs that are in front of it that already was getting ready to get. Had the pesto with the tomatoes and the fresh mozz. Yeah. And I'm like, these tongs are supposed to be over here. The guy said people are not paying attention.
Which is why.
So I'm these things that with nut allergies and shellfish allergies, why not put that in one area? Like the whole center of the Windjammer today was snow crab and oysters and crawfish.
Clams.
I mean, it's like, so put all the shrimp. It's like put all that there, and that way people would steer very far away from it.
had to be very careful tonight for dinner in the Windjammer because there was shellfish everywhere. Yeah. And so
luckily we weren't cooking it there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Problems with that too.
Yeah, but I had to be very careful. I ate pasta. I had some spaghetti. I had some spaghetti bolognese.
I'm not going on a cruise to eat pasta.
I know. I'm not mean either, but I had some steak.
I had prime rib.
I mean, I could have
a lot of lamb.
Yeah.
I'm having high dollar stuff.
Well, and
I didn't do lobster, and I did some shrimp the other day, but
the lobster is premium. You have to pay.
No, my shellfish like today. I didn't. Right. I don't care for crab. It's too much work. I just didn't have it in me, but like today was the prime rib, but I was like, and I went up there and say, hey, I'll take a piece, and he was just finishing cutting, and he just took like the butt end of it, which was like that thick, and said, oh, here you go. I'm like, more than I wanted, but okay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the food has been great.
But now that I know that you can reserve and get the Solarium, I would have been doing that,
As we said, and we've been told we need to go check out Celebrity.
I think that's going to be the next one.
And Virgin. I think we're just getting old. Like we're like, get off our lawn. We don't want to.
That's what that guy next to me said. We went on a Celebrity. And we felt like we were the teenagers, and he's like in his late. They were in their 60s. They were late 60s, and I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, I thought I was on a princess cruise or something like that. They come with a morgue, right? I'm like, oh, it's a joke. Okay. So like,
they have an undertaker on board. One thing I was impressed with CocoCay. They have 750 crew members living on that island. I mean, that's a whole crew for a cruise ship. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of amazing that
they just take
they have all those people. They're employing all of these people. A lot of the crew members on CocoCay, she said they were actually from Nassau.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they're living on the island and. The whole operation is just fascinating to me.
CocoCay is worth it on a cruise. I mean, I would have loved to have a cruise where you just leave, you're at day at sea, go to CocoCay, then you have another full day at sea, and you go home.
Right, and just spend 2 days at sea.
Yeah.
I'd be totally fine with that.
I mean, if you've never been to Nassau, yeah, go do the Pirate Museum.
It's
kind of $15. It was kind of cool. You know, it was really cool.
You have to walk to it. You just have to find it.
It's like not even half a mile. I mean, it was just but it took us a long longer because we kept getting lost. But
I mean, I would never get lost.
But no, that was worth it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of cool. But if it's just a touristy place, and that's their main economy, and I get that, but. If you've been to a lot of those touristy places, unless there's something there, like, oh my God, I've got to go see this at Nassau. Okay, fine.
Yeah, I just we're just not stuffed people. We don't need any more stuff. I don't need any more T-shirts. So you
gotta be careful because some things are made out of like tortoise shells or sea turtle shells and stuff like that they try to pass along that they do art with.
Yeah, and
you gotta be careful. It's endangered and stuff like that. Again, if there's something you really, really, you're like, I just gotta go, fine, experience it. But for me, you could go and I'll sit on the ship and have more of it to myself. And
exactly, I think we're just too old. I don't know.
I tap out on 3 nights because it's like the parks for me. You love being around people.
It doesn't drain me to be around people.
People drain me.
People drain me. It doesn't drain
because
me.
you barely get to know their name or whatever. I'm learning everything like what do you do?
Right, and I mean I take 5 steps away and I forget about it.
And I've got all this data that I'm like never gonna use ever again. Taking up file space. I
don't know that I could live on a cruise ship. I've been thinking about that. You know, well, that woman, I think her YouTube channel is called Poverty to Paradise. I saw a couple of her episodes. I was just very curious, like, how in the world? And being on this cruise ship, because I would have a tendency to stay to myself and not mingle with a lot of people. And I think you would have to force yourself to get out and mingle with people. Otherwise, it would be very lonely.
Unless I could do it if I was independently wealthy. And I can live up in the suites and have my own little lounge up there, my own private pools, my own private kitchen.
But if you wouldn't be private, you'd be sharing with
all the people.
People.
But they're VIPs or whatever. They're paid to be up there. You're limited access, and it's not like the peasants are down below having their fun while you're up here in the loft. And you're enjoying your time, and you're like, oh, whatever,
And now you know what he's really like. All right, well, I think that's actually it. So if you decide to take a cruise, moral of the story, check the menus, check the theme night so you can dress for theme night, and double check about any complimentary dining that may require a reservation. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for our little sidebar and getting away from the Disney parks and park life. Make sure you subscribe and like this channel and share it with a friend. We'll see you on my next video.
Smash that like button down below.